Have you ever thought about where your produce comes from? Most grocery chains receive produce from various local and national farmers. In fact, there are about 3.4 million farmers in the United States today. But of that staggering number, only 45,000 are Black farmers. At the Better Buggy, we are a proud group of Atlanta-based Black-owned farmers, selling produce locally and nationwide. Our easy-to-navigate online platform makes it easy for you to make a one-time purchase or to simplify your life by subscribing to our weekly produce box. Whichever frequency you choose, you can order with confidence, knowing you'll receive 100% organic farm-fresh produce. If you're looking for a thoughtful gift for a loved one that they'd actually find useful, be sure to pop by our online store where you can snag a gift card your recipient can use to order their own produce and t-shirts. Ready to start supporting local Black-owned farms and making healthier food decisions? Visit thebetterbuggy.com now to start shopping.
Ladies and gentlemen, the police chief testified against Derek Chauvin today. This is part of the trial. And of course, it's amazing how everybody got stuff to say now. These police departments, they know who their shady cops are and the ones that are out here brutalizing and roughing up the public. And Derek Chauvin has been that all this time. But it took the death of George Floyd for it to all come out. But they were willing to be silent on this. There were numerous Black men that have come forward and said they had an encounter with Chauvin. And Chauvin loved to choke out people. That was one of the things he did. Chauvin loved to be brutal, especially when he was dealing with Black men. And like I said, this dude, he had it in for Black men, period. And he used his badge to get away with a lot of things. So when I look at these police, and you see, this is a Black police chief. Did it stop police brutality in the Black community there? Hell no. And it never does. It never does. They don't make no difference sitting up in those positions at all. So he pretty much said that Chauvin stayed on Floyd's neck too long. He shouldn't have been on his neck at all over no damn counterfeit bill. Okay? The worst thing that should have happened was a citation should have been written, and those cops should have moved on. All this handcuffing and then talk about resisting and putting somebody on the ground and lynching them out in public, it was not worth all of that. Derek Chauvin, he is ugly. And there is no amount of talk that's going to pretty up what he did. What they call that lipstick on a pig. That's what they're trying to do with Derek Chauvin. They're trying to put the lipstick on him now, and it's way too late for that. So this is the Boston Globe. Kneeling on Floyd's neck violated department policy. Minneapolis police chief testifies. So he testified today. His name is Madaria Arredondo, and he is the Hennepin County. He is the police chief, and he also was the one that fired Derek Chauvin the next day after killing Floyd. So, he testified before Hennepin County Judge Peter Cahill, that's presiding over the case. And he said continuing to kneel on Floyd's neck once he was handcuffed, his hands were cuffed behind his back and he was lying on his stomach. In no way, shape, or form part of the department policy or training. And it is part of what y'all do, because this is why we keep seeing it over and over and over and over. And it's always consistently Black men. So no, those are your policies. And this is how you do train these people to go out on the street and make us public enemy number one. So y'all kill me. You come out with this cookie cutter statement that this ain't your policy and this is a violation of the policy and this don't reflect the police department. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. See, as long as this type of behavior is widespread within the police department, it is your policy. It is. We done seen too many unarmed Black men in America get killed. We've seen too many. So they're claiming, oh, he's the first Black police chief. Who cares about that? It's not like a Black police chief is, where police brutality is less in the neighborhood because there's a Black police chief. We know that is not the case. It does not make a difference having a Black police chief. While police have long been accused of closing ranks to protect fellow members of the force who have been accused of wrongdoing, the blue wall of silence, it is known. So some of the most experienced members of the department have taken a stand to openly condemn Chauvin's treatment of Floyd. And you know what? It's not enough. Floyd is still dead. You condemning it is not going to bring him back now. Derek Chauvin existed on this police department for years. Many people knew what he was like and his disdain for Black men. And you didn't see fit to even speak out about it until he killed someone. Maybe if you would have took notice to all the people he was brutalizing, you could have got him out a lot sooner. And this is another reason why there should be no unions. Now, he is a former police officer with the full backing of the union, paying for his lawyers and all of his legal fees and plus $1 million for a killer. All right. As jurors watch, and they were paying attention, they were scribbling notes as the police chief was testifying. Not only that, Chauvin, a 19-year veteran of the force, should have let Floyd up sooner, but the pressure on Floyd's neck did not appear to be light or moderate, as called for under the department neck restraint policy, that Chauvin failed in his duty to render first aid before the ambulance arrived, and that he violated policy requiring officers to de-escalate tense situations if they can avoid or minimize the use of force. Y'all don't de-escalate. Come on, this is just BS. Y'all don't de-escalate anything when you're dealing with Black folks. Who are you fooling with this testimony? Y'all don't de-escalate nothing. And we can see this consistently in all of the videos. If anything, the cops are turning everything up. They don't de-escalate anything. And it just kills me when they get in, when they start looking bad, then all of a sudden they want to, and this just proves, ladies and gentlemen, they know what the procedures are, but they just all go out the window when they're dealing with Black folks. Oh, well, de-escalate and minimize the use of force. Well, then you know what you should be doing in policing, but you fail to do your job when you come in the Black community. It's like anything goes. Okay. That action is not de-escalation, the police chief said. And when we talk about the framework of our sanctity of life, and when we talk about our principles and the values that we have, that action goes contrary to what we are talking about. On a cross-examination, Chauvin's attorney, Eric Nelson, he was questioning Arredondo of the last time he actually arrested a suspect. He said it's been many years. Well, he's a police chief. once you're a police chief, it's not real common for you to be out there arresting people, because that's the job and responsibility of your cops that are out on the streets. So, for him, I'm sure it's been a long time. Arredondo's testimony came after the emergency room doctor who pronounced Floyd dead testified. Now, you know what was amazing about that? The emergency room doctor said when they brought Floyd in, the EMTs, the cops, didn't even tell him what had happened to Floyd. So when he examined him, he had no idea how Floyd was killed. But he did notice whatever killed him, it was like a form of strangulation. He couldn't breathe, but he had to guess what was wrong with Floyd. They didn't tell him. And I found that interesting. To me, that's a sign of guilt. You knew you did something wrong. That's why y'all went to that emergency room. You took him in there and you did not tell them the full story, that doctor, the full story of what had happened to Floyd. And that also came out. Dr. Bradford Langenfeld, who was a senior resident on duty that night at Hennepin County Medical Center and tried to resuscitate Floyd, took the stand as prosecutors sought to establish that it was Chauvin's knee on the black man's neck that killed him. Langenfeld said Floyd's heart had stopped by the time he arrived at the hospital. The doctor said he was not told of any efforts at the scene by bystanders or police to resuscitate Floyd, but that paramedics told they had tried for about 30 minutes. Under questioning by the prosecution, Jerry Blackwell, Langenfeld said that based on the information he had, it was more likely than other possibilities that Floyd's cardiac arrest, the stopping of his heart, was caused by asphyxia, insufficient oxygen. Chauvin, 45, is charged with murder and manslaughter in Floyd's death on May 25th. The white officer is accused of pressing his knee into the 46-year-old man's neck for 9 minutes, 29 seconds outside the corner market where Floyd had been accused of trying to pass a counterfeit bill for a pack of cigarettes. The defense argued that Chauvin did what he was trained to do and that Floyd used illegal drugs. No, Floyd did not die from no illegal drugs. Y'all can get off of that. We saw what happened to Floyd on the video. Y'all need to get off of that mess. He did not die of no illegal drugs. He died from what Derek Chauvin did. That's why his ass is on trial. So, y'all, please tell me what you think. I'm never impressed when I see a black police chief. Y'all remember Renee Hall down there in Dallas during the Amber Geiger trial? Was she of any help? Okay, these black police chiefs, none of them are of any help to the black community or any black victim of police brutality or a police killing. They are of no use. For real. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.